Women's 50s are the most financially dangerous decade of their lives, and most have no idea what's coming. How did Lisa survive divorce, job loss, and caring for aging parents while actually increasing her wealth by $200,000? How did Maria turn her biggest financial crisis into her most profitable decade? What separates the women who thrive in their 50s from those who barely survive? I've helped thousands of women navigate this exact decade, and I've discovered there's a 4-piece puzzle that determines your financial fate in your 50s. Get even one piece wrong, and you could lose everything. But solve the complete puzzle, and your 50s become your most profitable decade ever. Why you should care. Authority or stakes. The statistics are brutal, and they're getting worse. Women in their 50s are 40% more likely to face bankruptcy than men the same age. They're 3 times more likely to experience what economists call financial shock, a sudden, devastating loss of wealth that takes years to recover from, if they ever do. But here's what most women don't realize. These aren't random disasters. There are exactly 4 financial pressures that converge in your 50s, creating what I call the perfect storm. Most women face at least 2 of these pressures. Many face 3. Some face all 4 simultaneously. The women who thrive, like Lisa and Maria, don't have better luck. They understand this 4-piece puzzle before the storm hits. They see each piece coming and prepare differently. By the end of this video, you'll have the complete puzzle and know exactly how to turn each potential disaster into a wealth-building opportunity. Let me show you the first piece of the puzzle, the one that catches most women completely off guard. Piece 1, the career plateau trap. The first piece of this puzzle is the foundation everything else depends on. What happens to your earning power right when you need it most? Without solving this piece first, the other 3 pieces become financial disasters instead of opportunities. Let me tell you about Lisa. At 51, she was a senior marketing manager earning $180,000 a year. She'd been with her company for 12 years, had stellar performance reviews, and felt completely secure. Then her company hired a new VP, a 38-year-old MBA, who immediately started talking about fresh perspectives and digital natives. Within 6 months, Lisa was pushed out. Not fired. That would be too obvious. Instead, her responsibilities were gradually shifted to younger team members. Her projects were reassigned. She was excluded from key meetings. The message was clear. You're too old, too expensive, and too set in your ways. Here's why this first piece of the puzzle is so critical. Age discrimination against women starts earlier and hits harder than it does for men. Women over 50 who lose their jobs stay unemployed 30% longer than men the same age. When they do find work, they typically earn 20% less than their previous salary. This is exactly why understanding this piece is essential for the complete puzzle. Your 50s should be your peak earning years when you're building the financial foundation to handle everything else that's coming. Lisa learned to solve this piece by implementing what I call the 48-year-old rule. At 48, you start building career insurance, multiple income streams, updated skills every 6 months, and strategic relationships with headhunters before you need them. When her next company tried to push her out at 54, Lisa was ready. She had 3 consulting contracts lined up and actually increased her income by 40%. But here's the crucial connection to the rest of the puzzle. When Lisa's income was secure and growing, she could handle the other financial pressures as opportunities instead of disasters. Solve this first piece, and the other 3 pieces become manageable. Fail to solve it, and each subsequent piece becomes a potential catastrophe. That's exactly what leads us to the second piece of this puzzle, the one that can drain all the income you're working so hard to protect. Even if you navigate age discrimination perfectly, there's a financial pressure that disguises itself as love and responsibility, and without the right strategy, it will empty your bank account right when you need that money most. If you love this video, hit the hype button on your mobile phone and help us reach more women. Done? Let's continue. Piece 2, the sandwich generation squeeze. The second piece of this puzzle is what happens when everyone you love needs your money at the same time, and why solving the first piece was so crucial for handling this one. At 53, Lisa thought she was finally free. Her youngest had graduated college, her mortgage was almost paid off, and she was ready to supercharge her retirement savings. Then her father had a stroke. Suddenly, Lisa was writing checks for $4,500 a month for his assisted living facility. Her mother needed constant financial support. Meanwhile, her 25-year-old daughter moved back home after losing her job, bringing $40,000 in student loans and no prospects. This is the second piece of the puzzle. The sandwich generation squeeze. You're caught between aging parents who need expensive care and adult children who can't afford to launch. The average woman in this situation spends $38,000 a year supporting family, money that should be going toward your retirement. Here's why this piece connects to the bigger puzzle. Without the secure income from solving piece 1, this family pressure becomes a financial disaster. But Lisa had already built her career insurance, so she could handle this strategically instead of desperately. Lisa solved this piece by creating what I call love budgets, specific monthly amounts she could afford to give without destroying her future. For her parents, $1,500 maximum per month. For her daughter, 6 months of support with a written plan for independence. She also discovered government programs that covered covered 60% of her father's care costs. But here's the critical connection to the complete puzzle. Because Lisa had solved piece 1 first, she could set these boundaries without guilt. Her secure income meant she could help family while still building wealth. This is exactly how she was able to increase her net worth even during this crisis. Now you can see how these first 2 pieces compound each other. Lose your income to age discrimination, then drain your savings supporting family, and you're financially devastated. But there's a third piece of this puzzle that can destroy everything you've built in a single legal proceeding, and it's becoming more common every year. Piece 3. The divorce devastation. The third piece of this puzzle is the one that can destroy everything you've built in a single legal proceeding, and why having solved the first 2 pieces becomes absolutely critical here. At 55, after successfully navigating her career transition and family pressures, Lisa faced her biggest test. Her husband of 28 years filed for divorce. He'd been having an affair and now wanted to split everything they'd built together. Here's what makes this third piece of the puzzle so dangerous. Divorce rates for women over 50 have doubled in the last 20 years. It's called gray divorce, and the financial devastation is catastrophic. The average woman loses 45% of her wealth in a divorce, while men typically lose only 21%. But here's why this piece connects to the complete puzzle. Because Lisa had already solved pieces 1 and 2, she wasn't financially helpless. Her multiple income streams from piece 1 meant she had independent earning power. Her boundary setting skills from piece 2 meant she knew how to protect her assets. Lisa solved this piece by implementing what I call the divorce defense strategy. She had already built independent credit history and income streams. She documented every contribution she'd made to the marriage, including 15 years of unpaid labor worth $2.1 million in services. When her lawyer presented this calculation, Lisa's settlement increased by $180,000. This is exactly why the puzzle pieces must work together. Without secure income and financial boundaries, divorce becomes devastating. But with the first 2 pieces solved, Lisa could negotiate from strength, not desperation. Now you can see how these 3 pieces create compound danger. Lose your career, drain savings on family, then face divorce, and you're financially destroyed. But there's one final piece to this puzzle that's so predictable and expensive. It can bankrupt you even if you've handled everything else perfectly. If you are loving this video, please hit the subscribe button and help us reach 5,000 subs by month's end. Done? Let's move on. Piece 4, the health cost explosion. The fourth and final piece of this puzzle is what happens when your body starts demanding attention right when your finances are most vulnerable, and why solving all the previous pieces was essential preparation for this moment. At 57, Lisa seemed to have everything under control. She'd navigated career discrimination, set family boundaries, and survived divorce. Then she found a lump during a routine self-exam, breast cancer, stage 2. The medical bills were staggering. Even with insurance covering 80%, her copay was $54,000. She couldn't work during treatment, losing $32,000 in income. Hidden costs added up. Special foods, transportation to treatments, childcare when she was too sick to function. Total out-of-pocket cost, $127,000. This is the fourth piece of the puzzle, the health cost explosion. The average woman spends $18,424 per year on healthcare in her 50s, double what she spent in her 40s. One major health event can cost $100,000 or more, even with good insurance. But here's why solving all 4 pieces together creates the complete solution. Because Lisa had built multiple income streams, set financial boundaries, and protected her assets, she could handle this crisis strategically. She had created what I call health wealth protection, maximum HSA contributions, critical illness insurance, and a separate health crisis fund of $300 per month starting at age 50. When cancer struck, Lisa was prepared. Her insurance paid $50,000. Her health fund covered the rest. Her second diagnosis at 60 cost her only $3,200 instead of $127,000. The complete solution. Now you can see the complete 4-piece puzzle and why each piece was essential for Lisa's success. Career insurance gave her secure income. Love budgets protected her savings. Divorce defense preserved her assets. Health wealth protection covered medical costs. This is how Lisa increased her net worth by $200,000 during her 50s while facing every possible financial disaster. She didn't have better luck. She had the complete puzzle solution before the storms hit. Your 50s don't have to be your most dangerous financial decade. They can be your most profitable, but only if you solve the complete 4-piece puzzle before you need it. Now you have the solution. The question is, will you use it while you still have time to prepare? YouTube thinks you will like to watch our next video here. Let's see if they are right.